Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed. Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. The National Task Force Against COVID-19 has allocated the latest batch of 500,000 doses of Coronavac brand vaccines to the National Capital Region Plus and other areas experiencing a surge in COVID-19 cases as well as in economic centers. In a statement Friday, April 23, Vaccine SAR and NTF Chief Implementer Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. said NCR or Metro Manila will get 100,000 doses of the Sinovac Biotech Limited manufactured jabs, while the rest of the supply will be sent to other high-risk areas. These areas include cities and provinces in the NCR Plus and select areas in Cordillera Administrative Region, Ilocos Region, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Western Visayas, Central Visayas, and Davao. Galvez said all of the vaccines will be deployed to the targeted implementing units within 3 days and will be administered during a 1-week period. Galvez said that they aim to achieve herd immunity in areas with a high attack rate, specifically in Metro Manila, by October or November. It is also their commitment with the National Immunization Technical Advisory Group. The Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, on Friday, April 23, reported that 24 deaths have been recorded following vaccination in the country. But the country's Food and Drug Regulatory Agency noted that most of the fatalities were classified as coincidental and unrelated to the vaccination. Domingo said 11 fatalities were diagnosed with COVID-19, 8 died due to cardiovascular or cerebrovascular diseases, 3 succumbed to infectious disease other than COVID-19, while 2 deaths were still under review. The FDA chief noted that most of the deaths involved people with existing comorbidities, 19 of which were classified as coincidental. 3 were still indeterminate, while the other cases remained under investigation. Domingo also noted that deaths following vaccination were also reported in Norway, Hong Kong, and the United States. Despite this, the Department of Health and the FDA assured the public that vaccines are safe and effective in preventing hospitalization and deaths, and that the benefits of the vaccine outweigh its risks. The Government Pandemic Task Force has allowed the implementation of Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth's new debit credit payment for healthcare facilities in all places with high risk of coronavirus infection. The decision aimed at hastening payment of hospital claims was reached by the Interagency Task Force on the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases during a meeting Thursday. Roque noted that PhilHealth has issued a circular on the use of the DCPM to facilitate the settlement of accounts payable to healthcare facilities during the state of public health emergency arising from the coronavirus pandemic. The payment scheme was initially applied only to areas identified by the Government Task Force, particularly in Metro Manila, Batangas, Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, Pampanga, and Rizal. The hospitals eligible for DCPM must have no interim reimbursement mechanism fund balance on record. They must also be attending to COVID-19 patients or providing the testing package. President Duterte earlier directed the State Health Corporation to hasten the settlement of claims made by hospitals to ensure their uninterrupted operations during the pandemic. Hospitals have complained about PhilHealth's alleged slow payment of claims. Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte topped the list of probable front-runners in the upcoming 2022 presidential elections based on the latest Pulse Asia survey released Thursday, April 22. The survey results showed Duterte was the clear preferred presidential bet of respondents in Mindanao with 60%, while results are mixed in Visayas with 21%, Luzon with 17%, and in the National Capital Region with 12%. Other possible presidential bets preferred were former Senator Ferdinand Marcos Jr. with 13%, Senator Grace Poe and Manila Mayor Francisco Dumagoso tied with 12%, as well as Senator Emmanuel Pacquiao with 11%. Also included in the list of personalities who register presidential voter preferences are Vice President Leni Robredo with 7%, Senator Christopher Go with 5%, former Vice President Jejo Marbinay with 3%, Senator Panfilo Locsin with 2%, and Taguig City Pateros 1st District Representative Alan Peter Cayetano with 2%. For the position of Vice President, the survey results showed a close race between three possible candidates. On the top spot is Manila Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Dumagoso with 16%. Senator Pacquiao and Davao City Mayor Duterte tied at 15%. According to Pulse Asia, the three are statistically tied for the top spot as of February 2021. The nationwide survey, which was conducted from February 22 to March 3, used face-to-face interviews and was based on a sample of 2,400 adult respondents. Now a roundup of news in and around Metro. Let's watch this.
Parañaque City Mayor Edwin Olivares said on Thursday that Metro Manila mayors will convene next week to decide on the new quarantine classification for the National Capital Region in May. Olivares added that they will be summarizing all the data from the Department of Health in NCR before they make a recommendation to the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. The Octa research team barred on Wednesday, April 21, that the coronavirus disease reproduction number in the National Capital Region has gone down to 1.01 from 1.90. Octa research fellow Dr. Guido David emphasized the importance of considering the primary transmission mode of the virus in easing quarantine restrictions. As more and more Filipinos are showing their bayanihan spirit by helping the less fortunate through the setting up of community pantries throughout Metro Manila and other provinces, an anonymous man gave away 100 peso bills to everyone waiting in line at a community pantry in Makati City on Thursday, April 22. Former Bayan Muna Representative Teddy Casino shared in his Twitter account a video of a man handing out 100 peso bills to people at the Barangay Santa Cruz Ecoville Community Pantry. As of today, Casino's post already has more than 5,000 retweets, 2,000 plus quote tweets, and more than 31,000 likes. According to Barangay Santa Cruz Ecoville Community Pantry Facebook page, it is located at Vito Cruz Extension Corner South Avenue, and it is serving communities in Barangay Santa Cruz, Manila South Cemetery, Barangay Olympia, Barangay La Paz, and nearby areas.
The latest news in other parts of the country, and here are the details.
The city of San Fernando in La Union will be under General Community Quarantine or GCQ starting on Saturday, April 24 until May 7. Governor Francisco Emmanuel Ortega III issued an executive order on Friday as the number of cases in the city has decreased and now under moderate risk level as of April 18. Ortega has ordered local chief executive and police commanders to ensure compliance with the operational guidelines on the application of zoning containment strategy during the GCQ. San Fernando City was placed under modified enhanced community quarantine along with other towns in the province from April 10 to 23 due to increased COVID-19 cases, putting the city at a critical epidemic risk level. Aside from sending additional 11 nurses to augment the medical manpower of hospitals in Metro Manila due to the continuous surge of COVID-19 cases, Eastern Visayas also sent additional blood units last Wednesday, April 21. The Eastern Visayas Regional Medical Center has sent 101 units of blood since it has been noted that the blood supply in the National Capital Region hospitals is now on a critical level. The blood units that were sent to Manila came from volunteer blood donors coming from different local government units in the region where they were able to collect around 1,079 units. Meanwhile, the Philippine Red Cross in Southern Leyte has also sent 130 bags of blood to its national headquarters in Mandaluyong City. A couple who held ranking positions with the Communist New People's Army or NPA surrendered to the government in Agusan del Norte, according to the Police Regional Office in Caraga on Thursday. Authorities identified the couple as Jomar Calejar Bernardos and Verly Florentino Sagot, who are Vice Commanding Officer of the Regional Centro de Gravidad under the Northeastern Mindanao Regional Committee of the NPA. Bernardos and Sagot surrendered to unite with their families and live a normal life, which might be impossible if they remain in the movement.
Now the updates from around the world. Here is that report.
India is battling a record-breaking rise in COVID-19 infections that has overwhelmed hospitals and led to severe bed and oxygen shortages. A key question is whether a new variant with potentially worrying mutation B.1.617 is behind what is currently the world's fastest-growing outbreak, which added more than 300,000 fresh infections Thursday. The B.1.617 variant has already appeared elsewhere, including in the United States, Australia, Israel, and Singapore. Concern about it has led some countries, including the UK, to slap travel restrictions on India. India first reported the B.1.617 genome to the global database in October. B.1.617 has been categorized by the World Health Organization as a variant of interest. U.S. drug maker Pfizer on Wednesday confirmed that suspect doses of its coronavirus vaccine that were seized in Mexico and Poland were indeed fake, with doses going for as much as $1,000 a shot, according to U.S. media. At a clinic in Mexico, some 80 people received bogus doses of the drug, which appeared to have been physically harmless, though offering no protection against the potentially deadly disease ravaging the country, a report in the Wall Street Journal said. The vials were found in beer coolers and were initially identified by fabricated lot numbers and expiration dates, Mexican officials said. The liquid in the confiscated vials in Poland was a cosmetic substance thought to be an anti-wrinkle cream, the company said. Pfizer tested the bogus vial and found they did not contain the two-shot vaccine it developed with BioNTech. Inspired by community pantry movements sprouting all over the parts of the Philippines and the Filipinos' indomitable bayanihan spirit, Timor-Leste has launched its first community pantry dubbed as Virus Farol's Community Pantry on Wednesday, April 21. Vice Consul of the Philippine Embassy in Dili, Lacer Sumagaysay, said in a Facebook post that he took the opportunity to discuss with some Timorese friends and diplomats about the concept of bayanihan and particularly showed them photos and community pantry setups in the Philippines, to which they gained much interest. He said that the initiative aims to help Timorese residents who have been suffering economically as a result of the coronavirus pandemic and from the recent flash floods that hit the country last April 4. Rosilia Esperanza Dos Reyes, organizer of the Bairro Farol's Community Pantry, said she also hopes the other communities in the country would follow the initiative and that compassion and honesty would prevail.
Let's find out more about the latest in showbiz. Let's watch this.
Actress Angel Locsin on Friday said causing chaos and harm was not her intention in opening a community pantry in Barangay Holy Spirit in Quezon City and apologized for it. The actress made a statement after her community pantry, which was initiated in celebration of her 36th birthday at the commercial establishment on Don Matias Street, caused violation of social distancing and the death of 67-year-old male resident who fainted while waiting in line. She said the opening of the pantry, which was done 2 hours earlier than scheduled, started well and organized despite the long line of people. She added there were also markers to observe social distancing. Locsin also said that there were already barangay and city personnel as well as police and military deployed to the area, but the crowd could not be controlled.
Hindi po ito ang gusto ko. Nagsimula po kami na maayos pong aming layunin, pati ng aming pong pagpaplano ng social distancing. Nagkataon lang po talaga na siguro gutom lang po talaga yung tao na kahit wala po sa pila, sumingit na po sila. Kaya sa mga nagambala ko po dito, pasensya na po, hindi po itong intensyon ko. Pasensya po talaga. Gusto ko lang po i-celebrate yung birthday ko sana na makatulong po ako sa mga tao. Hindi ko po intensyon na makagulo. Pasensya na po.
Here are the latest from Manila Bulletin Sports section. Let's watch this.
The schedule of Gilas Pilipinas and 8 other countries that will see action in the third and final window of the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers in Clark, Pampanga were released Friday, April 23. Gilas is scheduled to take on rival South Korea on June 16 and 20, while sandwiched in those dates is a match opposite Southeast Asian neighbor and Asia Cup host Indonesia on the 19th. Other games in Group A pit Thailand against South Korea on June 19 and Indonesia the following day. Also to be played in Pampanga are some games in Group B and C as part of the schedule which FIBA hopes will finally push through after repeated postponements of the continental qualifiers due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
And those are the news on Web today, April 23, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of the Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow, or you can log on to www.mb.com.ph, or you may also subscribe to our newsletter through the link on this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin. Join us again on Monday. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.